United States, can Trump be stopped from self-pardoning? Save who can, including himself? A few days before the inauguration of Joe Biden, who will end the presidency of Donald Trump in the United States, the outgoing American president can still surprise. He has until January 20th, the power of presidential pardon, which allows him to amnesty and free from his legal proceedings anyone who is under the blow of justice. But can he use it for himself? If Donald Trump was less fond of this power than his predecessor Barack Obama, he is making up for lost time since the month of November when Joe Biden won the presidential election. Above all, the use he makes of it is more disputed, since Donald Trump has widely resorted to presidential pardon for his relatives. These successive pardons suggest that he could use it to get rid of future lawsuits himself, and Donald Trump believes in it personally. "I have the absolute right to forgive myself," he said in a tweet in 2018. American media claim that he recently raised this hypothesis with his entourage. In reality, he is wrong. Slice Jean-Eric Brana, doctor in American civilization. In law, there is a principle that one does not judge oneself, only a judge can. The inadmissible argument of the legal vacuum. No American president has ever pardoned himself, but during his tenure, Donald Trump has demonstrated his ability to innovate. It would be a completely new case which would give rise to endless legal arguments, reacts Laurent Cesare, professor of contemporary history at the University of Artois. A self-pardon would be a diversion of the spirit of law, delusional initiative, but he is capable of it, said the latter. It remains to be seen whether this legal vacuum evoked by some observers can allow Trump to pardon himself. "We must take into account the case law," recalls Jean-Eric Brana. "This is clear, a grace for oneself cannot happen. Such an argument is inadmissible," defends the academic. The foundations of this inadmissibility, the American Constitution. But had its founding fathers for all that anticipated the election of a president capable of ignoring the Constitution? They had perfectly thought that there could be a father at the head of the country, ready to kill father and mother and then self-root in the wake, argues Jean-Eric Brana. This hypothesis has been debated and drafted. It is signed Alexander Hamilton, one of the founders of the Constitution. If Trump wanted to try, he would be immediately opposed to this argument to stop him. What can Trump be worried about? In fact, the future ex-president has immunity for what he did during his term in office, but the events on Tuesday on Capitol Hill reshuffle the cards. After this infamy, prosecutions will take place. Already knows Jean-Eric Brana, the authority of Congress has been violated. It has never happened in American history. Until then, Trump could have gotten away with it. He risked absolutely nothing because he is a man who plays with limits, continues Jean-Eric Brana. On the other hand, refusing to admit defeat and launching a call for sedition while Congress meets for a high point in democracy is perfectly indefensible. Is Mike Pence's help still available? A last possibility remains, which would be to see Donald Trump resign before the end of his mandate so that Mike Pence takes power and pardons him in the process. This already happened in 1974, when Gerald Ford pardoned his predecessor, Richard Nixon. The option has nevertheless waned during this week, with Pence taking a distance from its president. Technically this is possible, but politically not, sliced Jean-Eric Brana. This would mean that there are only thugs at the head of the state. I don't think so, he continues. Many politicians are committed to honoring their mandate. Mike Pence is not going to dirty his. If he pardoned Trump, he would end up in the trash cans of history.